Good morning, it's Tamsin here at Beginners Quilting Hub, and I wondered if you fancied hanging out with me today. So my husband woke up and he said, what would you like to do today? And I feel like he shouldn't ask that question if he's not prepared for the answer that he absolutely knows that he's going to get, and that is, let's go shopping. So we've planned a little shopping trip to a local quilt store, and I've found a local needlework cross-stitch shop. So we're going to go and visit both of them. One is in Swindon, one is in Chippenham. So we've got a bit of a loop to do. They're about an hour away, but I figured let's go. So I'm going to film as much as I possibly can today, and you can come with me. And then when we come back, I need to deal with all of this. There's a reason this is out, and the clue is here. I've got one house left to do and I need to get that done, and then I've been looking at my sashing blocks as well. But anyway, we can get into that later. Let's just see where the day takes us. Grab a cup of tea, jump in the car. We're taking Dotty with us because although she can't come into the cross-stitch shop, she can come in the craft centre where the quilting shop is. The two places that we've got on our little trip agenda, the first one is called the Patchwork Rabbit, and they're based in Chippenham. So we're going to go there first. The second place is called Little So-and-so, and it's a quilt shop. So that's our second visit, and they are based in Swindon. So let's go. Welcome to the Patchwork Rabbit in Chippenham. So I'd arranged to meet the wonderful and so friendly Catherine at the store. You have to book an appointment at the weekend because they're not open to the public, but she was fantastic. And I mentioned to her that I was interested in the heart in hand designs. So she'd pulled all the patterns that she could find in the shop that they've got in stock and let me have a really good rummage through. And how I stopped myself from buying one of everything is beyond me. Catherine caught me having a look through all this kind of linen and fabric, looking quite bemused actually. I had no idea that cross stitch was done on anything other than the normal Ada, what I thought was normal. So I was quite taken aback by the choices, and I had absolutely no idea where to start. So Catherine took her time to explain to me the different thread counts, the different fabrics, how some of them have been hand dyed, the best ones to kind of use as a beginner, and just spent a lot of time with me. Now we settled on this, and this is actually 28 count Vintage Country Mocha Cashel by Zweigart, and we're going to be using that so that I can make my Autumn Love cross stitch by Laurie Holt. This is something that I've agreed to do with the wonderful Kimberly from Missouri. Now I set about having a little tour around the shop, while Catherine very kindly set about working out all the DMC threads that I needed from the Laurie Holt pattern and choosing everything that I would need to get me going and complete this chart. It felt really special having the whole shop to myself, where I'd booked the appointment and I could just wander around, and honestly it was eye candy. Now I'm quite new to cross stitch, so I didn't really know everything. Well, I didn't really know much. I didn't know what I was looking at in some cases, and also how difficult or how easy some of these patterns were going to be. Most of them looked more on the difficult level. Some of these are so intricate, and there have been the suggested fabrics to be sewn on. They're just tiny, teeny holes, and I don't think I'm quite ready for that yet. But the 28 count felt about right. Look at all these houses. I really do encourage you, if you live in this area, to just pop along and have a look. The lovely Catherine, I'm sure, would be absolutely thrilled to bits to meet you, as well as some of the huge sampler patterns. There was also some what looked like very doable and very kind of beginner approachable patterns to make, you know, some tiny little cushions, little pillows, little tiny framed cross stitches, and I just really liked that. There was also lots of walls of different things to look at, like the glass beads and this beautiful display at the front that Catherine was actually working on when I arrived, all around Halloween and fall. It's one of those shops where every little nook and cranny you find something special and exceptional, and I really did enjoy myself looking around the shop. There's so many patterns and things. I can see myself shopping here for years to come. Now, while I was spending some time with Catherine, she was giving me so many tips. She actually got me started on the Lorry Holt pattern. So she explained to me how you find the centre of these large cross-stitch fabrics, how you actually work your stitches to make sure that you're getting the 2/2, which is what this pattern calls for. So that's 2 strands of thread over 2 of the little tiny thread counts, and just little bits and pieces that are going to really help me on my way. Now, around this little corner here that I'm showing you is the little quilting corner, and Catherine did say that it's a very small selection, but actually sometimes you find the little treasures in places like this, don't you? Having spotted this wall, which had all of the quilting kind of notions, rotary cutters, scissors, thimbles, and pins, it reminded me to check with Catherine what would be the best needle to use for cross stitch, because the one that I've been using, actually I kept stabbing myself in the finger when I was actually sewing, because I sew my cross stitch in hand. So Catherine went through with me and got me the needles that I needed. She sorted me out with a pack of the John James tapestry needles in size 24. There's 6 needles in this pack, and they've got a really large eye to make it so much easier than what I was doing and the needle that I was using. But they also have a kind of ballpoint pin end instead of that sharp point. And just like that, with the wonderful help from Catherine, I had everything I needed. So while she went off to ring everything up on the laptop, ready for me to pay, I went on another hunt and I found another cupboard with all of these really sweet festive cushions. Tiny stitches, beautiful, beautiful thread colours and just amazing patterns. I really enjoyed these. These are all going to go on my I Want to Do. And it was at this point that I was very close to needing an intervention from my husband, because look what I found. Honestly, how did I not buy these? This is a monthly sew-along, like a subscription where each month they send you the pattern. Just a little check-in. So we're back in the car now. Gave me a masterclass in cross stitch. She walked me through the stitch count, how to start, how to find the centre of my fabric, and she's convinced me to try some 28 count country mocha linen fabric. So this is by Zweigart, who I understand are big in cross stitch. So that's what I'm going to be using. She's got me started. Now, the project that we were looking at is the Autumn Sampler by Lorry Holt, and I will show more of this when we get back and I can do some footage. But I've got all my DMC thread, so I'm ready to go. And I also picked up a few little patterns. But again, I can show you those all in more detail once we get back to the Beginners Quilting Hub. For now, we're going to go and get some lunch. Dotty's hungry, husband's hungry, wife's hungry. So we're going to go and grab some lunch, and then we're going to head to Swindon and go to Little So-and-So Quilt Shop. I'm excited. It's a fun day so far. So we're now in Swindon at the garden centre, and this is like a massive unit, and it's got so many different small independent businesses in here, as well as a massive cafe, and we've just had lovely beef burgers and chips. We needed a quick restock, we needed a quick refuel, the husband and I cut Dotty off a little bit as well, so she's had a little bit of beef burger for her lunch. Quite late lunch actually, it's now nearly 3:30. I've popped along to the Little So-and-So Quilt Shop, and it looks extremely busy in there. They've got some busy workshops going on. So I'm excited to go and chat to them and do some filming around the shop and work out if I can buy some fabric in there for the Christmas quilt. Hi guys! This is the lovely Sam and her daughters Sasha and Mia, and they run the shop together, and I just went exploring. So I've been here a couple of times now, and there's always something new to see. There's always very seasonal fabrics, and I was very pleased to see this enormous display of beautiful Christmas fabrics. I had a good old hunt through and took some time choosing the 3 that I wanted to use for the Christmas quilt. Let me give you a quick show and tell of some of the fabrics that I found in the shop. I really did have fun catching up with Sam, Sasha and Mia and learning all about the new classes and things that they're going to be doing, and Dotty quite enjoyed wandering around the shop too. We then took some time with Dotty to have a little wander around the kind of bigger garden centre area, and look what I found. More houses. I think I'm obsessed, and I wanted to buy one of every single one of them. Now I have one like this actually in my living room, and you just pop a little candle inside, and in the winter all the little lights light up, or the little lights light up, or the little windows light up. So I think I might be adding to my collection. And we're home. We're back in Salisbury. I've had such a fantastic day, honestly. Really, really, really good fun. I'm just taking Dotty for a nice walk now. She's had lots of fun today with the people, saying hello to everybody, sniffing other dogs. But she does love a lovely fresh walk on her own, off the lead. Are you going to say hello? Where she can just be free for half an hour and just have a nice little walk. So I'm bundled up in a nice thick cardigan, and it's been hammering it down here with rain. Luckily we missed it all, but now that I'm back it is really, really, really cold. So I'm wrapping up, I'm going for a little walk for half an hour, and then I'm going to film my haul and show you everything that I bought today. Okay, it is now nearly 8 o'clock on Saturday evening. Had a bit of downtime, done a bit of stitching, but what I now need to deal with is this, and I kind of wanted to explain to you what this is. So in these 3 trays, so these are from the very top of my dream box here. This is all of my kind of scrappy bits of Laurie Holt fabric from all different collections. There's some bee dots in here, there's some prairie, there's, what's this one? I don't even know what some of these are. Vintage, bee vintage, there's some calico garden, there's a whole mix in here, and lots of backgrounds as well. So what I wanted to do is actually make a start sorting out the colours that I want to use for the sashing squares that go in the hometown quilt. So on my design wall, I've put the ones that I've done so far. So there's 10 different sashing blocks that we need to make, and there's 4 of each. So there's 40 in total. So as you can see, I've made 3, and I'm just making them completely scrappy. So they're all going to look different. I'm using fabric from all of the different lines that I've got here in my kind of, it's not really scraps because there is some yardage in here, but there are also some, you know, scrappy pieces that I want to put to good use. Now these blocks use tiny little squares. I think these up on here, I think these squares here started life as a 1.5 inch square, and they're sewn down and they will end up at 1 inch once they're sewn into the quilt. So they're teeny tiny. So what I've got is I've got a little box here, and I've got lots of pre-prepared squares, and I want to make sure that the backgrounds are quite scrappy. So I've got all different kind of low volume Laurie Holt's. I've got some little flowers, some little cross stitch ones. So all the whites are from the backgrounds that I've used. Oh, there's no way of getting these to stay neat. But then what I've done is just cut loads of little squares in lots of different colours. But what I want to do is add to this and make sure that I've got plenty of squares to have a really good mix of colour in the quilt. So I've pulled the boxes out so that I have to deal with them because they're right on my cutting table. So what I'm going to do this evening is I'm going to start cutting out some other ones. I've started making the next block. So I need to cut some rectangles that go in here. So I want to get 4 blocks of those cut. So I have pressed the background pieces, got those ready. I'm now going to dig through here, choose the different colours that I want, and then get 4 blocks, and then get 4 blocks cut and ready to go. And then whether we'll get them sewn or not, I don't know. But I kind of feel like if I get them cut, I've made progress. And then I can put them next to my sewing machine and they're ready to go. So let's get some cutting done. I think I'm going to set a timer for maybe 30 minutes and let's see what we can get done. I think using these little clips, I have a little pot of them here, is just such a really good way to keep everything organised. So this is my 4 blocks cut. It took me about 40 minutes, but that was only because I was faffing choosing the colours. But yeah, so that's the next 4 blocks done. It's time for me to show you the haul from today. So let's do it in bag order. So the first thing, I'll just pull all of this out. Now, this fabric is for the Christmas pattern, which I can officially tell you the name. So I asked in my last week's Quilt Tube video what we should name the Christmas quilt that we're going to do a sew along for, hopefully the beginning of October, and the resounding winner was Winterberry Lane. So that is going to be the name of the pattern. I'm excited, I love that name. And so I needed some fabric, red, green and white. Let me show you. So this is Good Tidings Sarasa by Makower. And now this fabric is gorgeous. It's got the reds, a little bit of green to pick up with the green fabric, and it's got this metallic thread running through it. I absolutely love it. Then, that's Dotty running around. The green that I picked up is called, let's have a look, Good Tidings Hollybush. And this one is actually featured in my Good Tidings quilt that I'm doing for Missouri Star. And I love this. I've actually got this for the backing fabric for that quilt. So we're going to be using that in the quilt. And then the contrasting background fabric is this one, which is, I think it's from the same range. This is called Good Tidings Christmas Star. And it's a kind of creamy colour. It's very pale, but it's a creamy yellow with these gorgeous metallic flecks through it of the gold stars. So that is the fabric that I have chosen. So when we do the sew along, these are the fabrics that I will be using. I will put the names of this fabric in the description box below in case you want to get the same ones as me. But you don't need to, but this is what I've chosen. So I'm really excited about those. So those are from the Sew and Sew quilt shop. And then as I was leaving the shop, you would have seen in the footage, she had so much laundry basket quilts, fabric stocked and patterns, and this caught my eye. So this is a ½ meter bundle. So I've gone up one from a fat quarter bundle and actually thought ½ meters is going to be more usable in these low volumes. This is the Pebbles collection for laundry basket quilts, and there's 19 different ones in here. So let's open them up, shall we, and have a little peek, and I can show you some of these absolutely gorgeous fabrics. Let's whip through them. This is the first time I'm seeing them properly as well. So they've all got a kind of gentle theme of florals. The fabrics are more cream than white. I'm not sure if that's going to pick up on the camera, but they're more cream than white. And they've each got a slightly different colour. So this is greys, this is like a yellowy gold. Oh, this is nice. More of a floral on floral. I just love these. I love this one. It's like an aqua blue. I don't know if it's coming up on the camera, like an aqua blue. Little polka dots. Ooh, this is an interesting one. This one makes me think of like computer coding. Do you know what I mean? With those kind of symbols. Oh, this is a nice pretty one. It's like a pink with a little bit of beige and browns through. Oh, this is cute. We need this right now in the UK, little umbrellas. And then the final one is this one, which again is that aqua colour. So I'm absolutely chuffed with these. This was my little sneaky buy. Yeah, so that's my haul from Little Sew and Sew Quilt Shop. I could have bought more. Trust me, I could have bought more. That shop is like a sweet shop for kids, the equivalent for adults. That's beautiful. Now, I went into the cross stitch shop. So this is the Patchwork Rabbit, and I wanted this kit kitted out, and I've told you all about this in the I've told you all about this in the video, but I just thought I'd hold up the pattern so that you can have a proper look at it. So this is the Autumn pattern by Laurie Holt. It's called Autumn Love, and this is the cross stitch that I'm going to be starting. Well, I've started it a little bit, but I'm hoping to get this done. This is the sheet of all the DMCs, so it does use quite a few different colours, but I think, you know, that's really what makes it, with all the beautiful colours. So let me just take all these out the bag. The first thing that I'm going to show you are almost all of the DMCs. So that's them here. Look at these, they are beautiful. Such a gorgeous colour palette, very Laurie Holt. And I wanted to do the core 4 colours because that's what I love about the design, the colours. And I think I need to add to it a couple of reds, another brown, and I think one of the greens is missing because they'd sold out in the Patchwork Rabbit. So I will go and see if I can find those other colours soon. So that's those. So I've got all of those, all in DMC colours, all in DMC threads. So that's what I'm going to be using. I've got my, where have I put it? I've got my linen. Now this is Zweigart 28 count vintage country mocha Kishal. So I've got this. This is what I'm going to be making this on. Now Laurie's does seem to be a little bit paler, but actually when we were looking at the fabrics, in terms of, you know, the size of my stitches and the stitch count on the fabric, this one is the one that we thought would be the best to use. It has got a slight grungy feel to it. I'm sure there's a name for this, and I'll get that as I do more, but I've got that. So I'm basically ready to go. So I've got my almost all of my DMCs, I've got the pattern printed, I've got the fabric, and I've got the needles. So these are tapestry needles, and again I told you about those in the video. So I've got all of those. I have been looking at Heart in Hand's little Tiny Town cross stitch pieces, and I'm absolutely obsessed. I love houses. You all know I love houses. So when I saw these patterns, absolutely incredible. And actually some of the profits from these patterns go to the Habitat for Humanity of Greater Cincinnati. So it all goes into a charity, or a percentage of the profits go into the charity to help with living conditions. So it feels like we're giving something back as well. So I've got a Honey of a Tiny Town, and this is featuring, if I hold it that way, so we've got the little houses, we've got little birds, we've got little sunflowers. It's just totally cute. And the other one I bought was Thankful Tiny Town. So this one's featuring little balloons, little hearts, and it's got a little flag that says thankful. Now all of these come out at the same size, and there's a lot of them, and I've actually ordered some more, so I figured I might do a little haul video a bit later on in the week once everything's arrived. I think I'm going to make them into little cushions so that I can have them all displayed. And then I also bought some more of the same linen in a smaller quantity. So this is a fat 16th, which Catherine assures me will be plenty to probably stitch 2 or 3 of the houses, giving them a little bit of distance between, and able to cut them so that I can put them into a cushion. So I need to get the threads for those. So again, I'll share how I get on with those. But yeah, that was the haul. So not too crazy. Actually got the things that I needed to get. So I've got this fully kitted out now, bar a couple of them. I've come out with some fabric that I didn't need, and I've got the fabric for the Christmas quilt. So I'm feeling very pleased with myself. And I didn't break the bank. So that's my haul. I hope you've enjoyed spending some time with me this weekend. I've enjoyed having you along with me. Let me know in the comments, do you do any other hobbies other than quilting and sewing? So are you a cross stitcher? Are you a paper crafter? Let me know. I feel like if you're creative like us, there's no end to how many hobbies we can have, and actually sometimes it's really good and refreshing to try something new over and above our quilting. But obviously we still keep quilting at the heart, right? We always need to find time for our quilting, but there's no reason why we can't do other hobbies as well. And I do feel like I'm going to become quite addicted to cross stitch. I've already been creating a Pinterest board, and I've saved a few patterns into my Etsy basket. It's a slippery slope. Let me know if there's any good YouTube kind of channels that I need to follow in relation to cross stitch. The lovely Catherine did give me a handful, so I'm going to start checking those out and kind of having those on in the background as well, and just learning what I can to try and improve. But yeah, I'll keep you posted on my cross stitch journey, kind of sprinkled in my Quilt Tube videos over the next couple of months, but share in the comments what you guys are working on, and I will see you soon.